Thank you.
Oh, leather. Oh, leather.
Motherfuckers. Dennis.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
Nothing, man.
We're doing a little Draai Lagg thing on location. As you can see, there's a billion people fucking floating around. We're doing a little release stuff. What's the deal, man? I started reviewing Draai Lagg about 2 years ago and started just talking back and forth like randomly. Yeah. And then this is the story, actually. It's pretty funny. Is that talk back and forth with I shouldn't say Draai Lagg anymore. It's Draai Lagg. What is it? How's it? Log.
Yeah.
But I've been saying it wrong the whole time, so kick me in the nuts. And the whole time I'm going back and forth, talked a couple times, and then I got a bug up my ass, and I started asking breweries for beers to review. And I'm like, I sent a couple breweries an email, and I sent your brewery an email. And when I get back in the email, it says verbatim, what's your phone number? Nothing else. Nothing. Not like, hey man, I want to talk to you on the phone. What's your phone number? What's your phone number? So then I'm like, okay. I send off my phone number. I get a phone call. I don't answer it because I don't answer phone numbers I don't know.
Yeah,
As you do,
yeah,
because I didn't answer my call the other day. And then I looked up the area code. I was like, okay, that's Pittsburgh. It's probably Draai Lagg. I'll get that eventually. And then second time I called, answered it, and we talked for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, we did.
It was pretty cool.
Yep.
And basically, Draai Lagg is a brewery out of just outside of Pittsburgh. I don't even call it Pittsburgh. It's Millville.
Yeah, it's Millville.
And it's all about the funk.
It's all about it.
So we're down here for their Plague release, which is I don't even want to say a sour stout. It's like a funky stout. Because
Thank you.
I haven't had anything sour from you guys, and I don't think that's your gig. I think it's all about the funk.
It is. It's primarily about the funk. I mean, we do integrate light sour notes, but in my opinion, it doesn't take a lot of talent to make a sour beer. Anybody can make a beer so sour it's unpalatable.
And that's the thing. It's almost like a double IPA. Fuck, how many hops can we put in this? How fucking sour can we make this beer? I don't want that. I want to not have my gut rot out. I don't want to be able to go to the dentist and not have me yell at me. So it's one of those things where it's like, and this is my deal. Like, I got into beer through the Belgian door. So I like Belgian yeast. Yeast is to me the magic taste entity, the particle, whatever you want to call it, where taste for me comes from. You're right. I like a double IPA. I like IPAs. I like hop-driven beers, but if you're going to really get my balls tight, you know what I mean, you have to give me something with yeast, and that's where Belgians come in place. And most people don't know that. People come in, especially over the last few years, they come through the Belgian door, or they come through the IPA door.
Yeah.
When you come through a Belgian door, which I assume is where actually, I know that's where you come from.
Yep.
It's all about the yeast. So speak about that for a second. Speak about your brewery, give us a little bit of backstory, and then tell us about some good stuff.
So, I started brewing when I was 17, right?
Just home brewing?
Yeah, just home brewing, and from doing that, I just got really intrigued by, I guess, the articles of fermentation. Okay, so fast forward. I'm a combat vet. I get back. Millville's my hometown. It's where I grew up. And a flood decimated the town. And they needed something to start, I guess, kind of bringing business back to the town.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was still going to school. And, I spent a lot of time in the brewing community and actually in the wine community. And I knew about yeast just from my time in Europe. Because while, I wasn't on tour, when I was on, we'd have leave or in between tours.
You're stationed in awesome beer locations.
That's exactly right. So I would go throughout Europe, and I would go to these little village pubs. And in these little village pubs, and I'm not even talking about just Belgium alone, I'm talking Germany, UK, Scotland, Wales, everywhere I could go to, try to experience, I guess, not only their terroir, but just their native strains if they had it.
Yeah.
So when I got back, I started to really say to myself, nobody compiles ideas from different areas.
Yeah.
Nobody pulls it all together. It's usually you're an English brewery, you're a German brewery, you're an American brewery, whatever it may be. But nobody integrates these ideas and pulls them together. So then I started to realize that by using different yeast strains, and actually, even within the same yeast strain, if you change the environmental conditions, the byproducts are different.
A lot of people, like, when they deal with the yeast, they go, okay, Brett does this. No, it's not. There's Brett, A, B, C, fucking 16 different levels of the flavors you can get out of it, whether you start at a temperature, leave it at a temperature, raise it to a temperature, let it grow to a temperature. So most people don't know that.
Yeah, that's right. And then as the pH changes, the byproducts are different as well. Yeah. Same with the media. So if you make a beer, and what I mean by the media is the actual beer itself. So for instance, I'm drinking Godenacht right now. Okay, Godenacht. If you take Brett Klaus, and you put it into a different environment, it might not produce all this tropical fruit. But if you put it in the environment with the honey, the apples, and the base malts that are in there,
it has to feel the work.
That's exactly right. Now you change those environmental conditions, the byproduct might be completely different.
Yeah.
The amazing thing is that yeast strain produces the same biocompounds that are in the same tropical fruits you're tasting and smelling.
Yeah.
So if you isolate that, it's amazing that single-celled organism can trick your mind and your taste buds to tell you that you're tasting pineapples when you're really not.
Because when you're dealing with rotten fruit, I don't want to say rotten fruit,
you're right.
over-ripened fruit.
Yeah, that's it.
You're basically getting fermentation, and basically when you're instead of dealing with just the fruit delivering that, you're getting the yeast and the bacteria and all the funkiness to actually deliver that kind of taste.
You're right. So what I decided to do was take a base style, and you take that base style and you say, what can I add to this, or what can I change in this to attribute different flavors and different aspects to this base style, to bend it and twist it and somehow make it really kind of work.
Yeah.
So what I started to do was I just kind of in my brain started thinking, okay, take this base style, what do you want to do to it? Well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. And that's what every one of these creations are. It's a twisted, warped, fucked up situation where we take it and bend it and twist it and see if it works. And for some people it does, some people it doesn't.
And that's the thing, like, it's definitely like it's a weird situation, because it's like I don't think sours are the next big thing. I think yeast is the next big thing when it comes to beer.
Yeah.
So I think you're actually ahead of the game. But I think a lot of people don't understand what yeast can do.
No.
So, let's go back. Like, you started the brewery.
Yep.
Like, what was your first beer?
First commercial beer I ever made was Arias. I took the basis of a triple and a Belgian strong ale, and I kind of integrated them with the base malts that you would typically find in there, right? Then I figured I'd add orange peel to it, which turned out to be really good. And then additionally on top of that, the funny thing is that there's a vanilla bean in it. You'll never taste the vanilla. The vanilla was added because
counterbalance something?
No, there's a chemical reaction that takes place during fermentation that actually converts vanilla into some other compound I don't know. But I'll tell you this much, there's a significant difference between the head retention between one and not using vanilla. And adds a creamy characteristic to it. There's an interesting thing. I was messing with yogurt critters before this bullshit ever came up about making yogurt beers. I've been dealing with yogurt critters for like 4 years now, just studying how they work.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, we've cultivated entire batches of beer with yogurt a long time ago. What I figured out with yogurt is that you can carry over a dairy aspect into the beer, even though there's no yogurt in it. You take it and you build the culture up. It's actually a byproduct through some sort of chemical interaction that's taking place from the complex sugars that are done if you steam the mash higher than obviously like in the 155, 158 range. There's some sort of conversion that takes place in there that actually carries over, and you almost think, you smell it, you're saying to yourself,
You have to go higher in your mash.
yep, you're pulling out more of those dextrins.
How high do you have to go?
From 80? No, that's way too high. Like Tony and I have figured out probably around like 156 to 158.
Oh.
Okay, so what we figured out, like I said, so that's a key example. So that we use that vanilla in the Arias to create a creamy texture that, again, we haven't fully explored. And if I ever do, I'll publish a white paper on it. In the meantime, it works. It works.
So then you go from having the Arias, and then that was your stable beer or your first beer, whatever you want to call it. When did you kind of turn a corner with like having people come here and be like, okay, this is for real? Like, was there a beer that you produced that like people like, okay, we're coming to Draai Lagg or Lag now, and this is the beer we're producing, or is it more just like?
I've won more competitions with my sours and my wild ales than I did anything else, right? So what I did was I needed a beer to be produced, I guess, an everyday beer,
Okay.
or a beer that can be turned faster. Because at the time, that's where Arias came into play. In fact, I didn't even ever want to make a clean beer ever in my entire life. But I needed something to fuel the fire to be allowed to do all the wild beer that I do.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, I had to invent all these other beers to basically fuel what I really wanted to do.
And then let's go with that to fuel whatever you want to do.
Okay.
The wheat, like, if I were to sit back, like obviously I like your beers. I'm down here, I travel and I enjoy them, so I'm a little bit biased. But tell me about how you get the high ABV you do out of fucking yeast that you fuck with. Like, how do you fucking do that?
It's a method that I developed a long time ago.
Because you're getting like double digits out of yeast profiles.
Did you see my attenuation? It's unbelievable, and I honestly should publish that method.
I know you can't tell me because you don't want to tell people how you do
I know. It took me honestly, I want to say about 7 years to figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of physics in play at that too. It's resonance structures.
Was there anything like when you went to, when you were in the military? You're Marine?
No. So I was actually in the Air Force.
Okay. Is there anything of that that played into like your knowledge doing this? Like were you like any kind of engineering stuff or any of that stuff? No.
I was a grunt.
Okay. So how did you figure out
airborne?
So how did you figure out like the whole physics and the whole behind all that?
I went back to school right when I got out. I went back to school. And I went back to school for basically biology, but I was in an honors program. Okay. So in the honors program, you had to take a lot of graduate courses. So I did, and then I published as an undergrad. But I published in herpetology. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
You love those reptiles?
I did.
Snakes
I did, but I didn't want to end up in a museum making $20,000 a year stuck in a basement somewhere. Right?
Yeah, true.
So I guess my thing was that I took a lot of these courses that weren't required to take to just basically just learn. I love learning, right? So I took medical physics. I took a lot of other physics courses. I took a lot of biochemistry courses, organic chemistry courses, P-Chem. Took them all. And I was actually supposed to continue on and go to a doctoral program, and I just said, fuck it, I'm done. I walked. So you got to keep in mind, though, if you love to do something, you're going to learn everything and anything about it.
Yeah, of course.
So I've been doing this since I was 17. I'm 34. So during that time,
it's old hat now, baby.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. Is I've always been a science-minded guy, right? I've always wanted to go into science. I just couldn't figure out what branch of science to go into, right? So I don't know. It's amazing. I have one of those brains where if I read something, it sticks forever. In fact, a lot of my organic chemistry professors used to tell me, I'm amazed at your recall. I got good recall. I I guess that's the only thing. So by reading it, I can learn.
Now let's talk about it's you and your head brewer, Mike?
No, Tony.
I don't know why I fucking said that.
I don't know.
Anyway, how did you guys hook up?
It's funny, man. So Tony, I worked with his wife, and she said, "Hey, there's this guy opening up a brewery. Maybe you should stop that." Because Tony homebrewed all the time, and I love homebrewers. In fact, I really don't like. I would probably shy away from hiring a professional brewer because all the creativity's gone.
Well, that's the thing I've talked about ad nauseum on a couple times. Like we do, like me and George is part of this show. We do a radio show up north, and it's like we talked to a bunch of brewers, and like when you are traditionally trained, you just know how to do things the way you've been taught. So if you've never been taught, it's almost like not that you can't get creative when you've been taught traditionally, but if you don't have rules to follow, then there's no rules to break.
And that's what the Belgians love. And that's what I love about the Belgians. Is everything's open.
Yeah.
Why not try it? So when Tony came to me, he said, "Listen, I don't know how you do what you do, but I want to learn." And he's like, "And I'm willing to shadow you." And he did for almost a year and a half for no money. He shadowed me, and at the time I was brewing on the weekends, and I'd brew at nighttime and whatnot. And I'm still growing the company, and I engineer all my own systems too. In fact, I built every one of our systems. In fact, the new one we just put in up there, the 30 barrel system, I built that too. But he just wanted to learn it. So over time, he just basically started coming around, and then next thing you know, he knew enough to where it made him kind of dangerous. So I said to him, I said, "Listen, man, you want to come down here and work for me?" And he's like, "I would absolutely love to do that." And he did. So since that time, it's been free game. Like, the people that work here have the freedom to make whatever they want as a pilot batch.
Yeah.
So if you have an idea,
you have a pilot system and a regular system?
No, it's just a little like 5-gallon system or 10-gallon system, I think what it is. But they just put it together. But regardless, you have the freedom to try whatever you want.
Yeah.
If you have an idea and you think it might work, fuck it, try it. See if it works. See what you come up with. Then we'll analyze it later and figure out how those things happen.
Yeah.
And then we'll take apart what we want, change what we might not, or whatever, and just go back at it if we want to. So sometimes there's pilots that Tony makes that I never try because it's not what he wants, or it's not how it is, or it's not, And then he'll go back and he'll make pilots randomly at times. Same with the other guys too. They said, "Hey, you know what? I got this idea." They'll tell Tony, and Tony's like, "All right, let's screw it. Let's make a pilot." So they'll take a day and make 3 or 4 pilots in a day.
Damn.
They have the freedom to do anything they want down here. Like,
how often are you brewing?
Down here a lot right now because we're waiting for this new system to open up. These guys are pushing 3 days a week now, if not 4 days a week.
See you, thanks.
Yeah. So max.
And when are you gonna get the new area, new system, whatever?
It should have been done in June, but we're having some issues right now, just some local issues that we're trying to get done. But once it's done, we'll finally be able to feed enough beer between Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, and the tap room, hopefully.
Is that your biggest problem right now? Is actually producing enough beer?
Yeah.
At this point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem.
It's a great problem to have, though, man.
Everybody says that, but it's really not.
No, it is. It is. See, from your perspective,
It's not.
It's not because, you
Man,
would
it's the
rather
biggest
have
headache.
more want than. But the longer you wait, people wait for your shit, the worse it can become because they'll be like, "Fuck this guy.
I know.
I'm not waiting anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Screw you. I'm going home."
And that's not what I want to create. I'm not the type of guy that's going to hold stuff back to create a demand or anything.
Yeah.
That's just not my game. I feel bad because I like what I do. I like what we produce. It is different. If you like different, you're going to dig it. If you don't, then you're not. But I feel bad because I know people out that way, including yourself, that are like, I'd really like to get a more steady flow of beer.
Yeah.
And I'm busting my ass to try to get that to happen, and I'm being held up by people that shouldn't be holding me up because I'm bringing money to their, It's not Millville. It's not Millville. It's not Millville.
Yeah,
but
we don't need to talk about that.
no, we don't.
Anyway.
Yeah. So
let's talk about so you have your head brewer, you have you. Who else would you like? Do you have, like you said, you have other like assistant brewers? Or?
yeah, we got a couple other guys that work in the brewery, and that's pretty much it. I mean, that's everything other than the tap room folks. And my wife runs all the tap room people, the tap room, and we got a lot of work to do to this place on the inside. You know what I mean? Like it still needs.
Do you have expansion going that way?
No, I wish I could. I tried to buy my neighbor's building, but he doesn't want to sell it to me. So there's nothing I can do about it. This is what we got. That's it. So, but what we're planning on doing is we're looking for
Separate brewer location, keep the tap room kind of deal?
Yeah. And, you know, by getting, if we get a bigger brewery, like the facility that we're going in now is only going to be a temporary facility. It's about 5,000 square feet. So once that's done, I'd like to get like a 10,000 square foot facility really on a farm. Because then I can actually start harvesting my own personal native critters. They're on my own land.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm harvesting all my critters from basically other people's land.
Yeah.
I want them for mine. So then I can cultivate them and watch them genetically change and know the terroir of the area. And then that way...
And you feel it's like hard to keep shit consistent since you're so wild?
To a certain degree, I would say yeah, but at the same time, you know, somebody told me a long time ago, if you're looking for consistency in a wild beer, you're a fucking idiot. And I was like, that's a good point.
Yeah, that fucking makes sense.
Yeah. That was a very well-known brewer out in Belgium. And he told me that, and I said, you know what, that's an interesting point. He goes, yeah. He goes, if you try one of my beers from 2015, you try the one from 2016, is it different? Yep. He goes, then I don't understand this whole consistency.
Well, I mean, yeast is an evolution thing. Sometimes you want to go generations, 20, 30 years deep on a yeast profile.
Yeah.
Actually let it grow and become something unique. So,
yeah, and I agree with you. And you know, that's the interesting thing. It's like people always push for consistency, but I think if you're in the ballpark, quite frankly, that's pretty damn good because consistency is boring. The fuck is consistency? Yeah.
What's to drink the same thing every fucking day?
Well, that's the best part. You know, if you think about it, like, okay, I understand it because when you buy it, you're expecting that same taste. You're expecting the same thing. But really, if you delve into wild beer, it's really not the name of the game, you know? And if it is, then I guarantee you they're pasteurizing it or they're doing something.
Yeah, they're nuking the fuck out of it to get the same thing out of every fucking beer.
Yeah, and that's in my opinion, that's kind of a bad thing.
I mean, listen. There's a lot of people who have a lot of. I love me a double IPA. I love me an imperial stout. I love me a lot of different things, but you know, Belgium does it for me. So, like to have a little bit. What?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me ask you this, right? How many people make IPAs out there?
9 billion.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what are those people doing to further the craft of brewing?
There are some people that are doing shit within that, and I'm a convert. I'll tell you right now. I was the person that was like, fuck you and your double IPA. There are some people that are actually doing some interesting things inside that field, but as a whole, I would say it's the exception, not the rule. You know what I mean? Like it's very few and far between. Where I've always said this. This has always been my thing when I talk about people. When I talk about like hop forward, malt, yeast-driven beers. I'm like, you give me 10,000 hop forward beers, I can find 10 I love out of 10,000. You give me 100 malt driven or yeast driven beers, I can find you 10 I love out of those 100. I need 10,000 to find good hop forward ones.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so much saturation in the market with such bullshit. It's hard to weed through to find good stuff.
See, this is where my frustration lies, right? So it's like, if there's a guy out there, let's just even say a home brewer, right? And this home brewer figures out that Britannomyces lambicus with this pH and this media and this that, figures out all the intricate factors that attribute to a beer that's so beautiful that you don't even know where to begin and where to end. Basically, you're out there, you're just lost, right?
Now, a beer pop tart?
Yeah, that'd be great. We're doing an interview. It's being recorded, dude.
What the fuck, motherfucker?
Go knock, buddy. Go
Did he
knock.
call you Pop Tart?
Yeah, he'll call me Pop.
That's the one thing I picked up on.
He'll call me Cupcake, Pop Tart. He just fucks with me. But anyway,
This is great.
My whole point is that I'm assuming this is going to be edited, by the way, too.
Not at all. It's all going up there. No, I'll edit it, but that part's staying in.
All right. So anyway, my whole point is that if somebody can figure that out, now you've done something to further everybody else's knowledge. you've done something that can benefit the degree of how we're going to go forward in our understanding of these wild organisms. Not even just wild organisms. Just
But that's the thing, though. Like, you can still give the fucking game plan and the ingredients to somebody. It doesn't make sure they're gonna fucking do it right.
That's fine. That's fine. But you did something further. Now, on the backside of it, let me take a fucking shit ton of fucking hops. Let me get hop. Hey, let me come out with a beer. It's called hop. So many hops it fucks you in the ass. And I'm gonna dump 55 fucking pounds of hops in a gallon of beer. And I'm just gonna fucking this is 5,000 IBUs. Every person in the world be like, wow, that's 5,000. Is that talent? Is that
No, dude, you're preaching to the choir, man. Like up in my area, like there's like so many, like, to equate it to like food. There's so many people that either give you a ton of portion or they throw a ton of garlic in food. And people are like, this is so good, and be like, just because you got a ton of it and there's a ton of garlic doesn't mean it's fucking good.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, where's the nuance? Where's the fucking where's the balance? The balance, the attenuation, whatever you want to call it.
I agree.
No, I get you. It like when I say I'm converted, like there are some double IPs that I actually really enjoy now. After poo-pooing on them and being an asshole about them for a long time, like there are some that I really do enjoy. But I'm still, I mean, the best double IPA in the world never be better than my favorite fucking quad or fucking double or triple. Like I love them, but side by side, it's like, I'll take this any day of the fucking week. You know what I mean?
The other thing I'd like to say this too is that I bash them a lot, right? If they're done right, it's interesting. Okay, so for instance, I was at this beer event, and usually I'm bashing IPAs left and right. And I'm bashing the IPAs, and I got to give it to this guy because he said it the best way. He said, I said, what the hell's the talent in making that IPA? And he flat out tells me, he goes, well, if you think about it, wasn't that the point? He stopped and I go, what do you mean by that? He goes, think about it. What was an India Pale Ale designed to do? I was like, make it to India. He goes, yeah, so the whole point was to throw shit ton of hops, just so it preserved it so they could get it to India so the Brits could get hammered. And I'm like, right. He's absolutely right. The whole point of the beer, the whole point of the style,
it's preservation, not
preservation.
Yeah, not flavor.
So the whole point was to add all the hops into it.
Yeah.
The whole point was to get it there. So that kind of counterbalanced me back to saying, hey, you know what? I guess there is a talent of choosing what hops to use in the right times during the boil, everything. But I don't think it should be advertised in a way to say, you know, hey, we have 10,000 IBUs or we have whatever.
Well, saying 10,000 IBUs is like saying I have like I don't even have.
I know what you mean.
It's a catch-all. No, it's like a gimmick thing, being like, hey, I'm doing this thing where I have all this shit.
Triple hop brewed or whatever.
Yeah, it's like okay, be like, yeah, well, cold filtered, cold filtered. Trouble you for one? What? Grab you one? Please, buddy, come on.
What do you got?
I don't know. Another Gundak. No, sorry.
Good enough.
Gundak.
I'll put this on the edge.
So going.
I'll see ya.
All right, Liz. Sorry.
No, I don't.
I had that much of the plague.
That's all you need.
That's it. All right, take care.
So, like going forward, what do you see like Draai Lagg doing? Like,
Well-
what do you want? Do you want to expand as far as you can? Do you want to be regional? Do you want to stay? Like, what do you want to do?
So tough sometimes, man. That question comes up all the time. I don't want to be the next, massive brewery across this country. That's not my goal. My goal was never money. I'm not a money-driven guy. I'm more of a creative guy. I'm more of an artist. I always say brewers and artists are one and the same. The only difference is my canvas is in a glass. That's it. I think what I'd really enjoy is just a little bit of security, right?
Freedom.
And the freedom to do what I want to do. Tony and I have some great ideas, and if I could ever get to the point where I could get a full-time brewing manager type guy where they're doing nothing but pumping out some of the stuff that we come up with, Tony and I get left alone to do R&D, I'd be perfectly happy at that. And as long as it's self-sufficient, I mean, in my opinion, like, there's states that have requested us. I have distributors in other states that want us to go into those states. But I can't do it until I can build up the amount that we're manufacturing,
Yes.
right? Okay. The other thing that I'd like to do is that there's a lot of things that have yet to be explored in brewing. there's a lot of yeast that have yet to be captured. There's new yeast strains every day out there. The Wild Angel strain is new to the world. It's never been actually categorized.
There's, dude, yeast in general is, like I said, like I believe it's going to be the next huge thing. Like everybody's saying sours, and they keep talking about sours being the next thing in general. I don't think it's that simple as sours going to be awesome. I think it's exploration with yeast, because there's so much more flavor to be derived from yeast. Because you can drink, for example, your Guten docked beer, you're getting a lot of citrusy kind of like tropical flavors you get from a hop.
Yeah.
Show me a hop that can deliver yeast-driven flavors. You get a little spiciness sometimes, you get a little earthiness, whatever.
You're right.
But you can't get that super over the top, and it's like it is the next thing. So,
but let me ask you, did you try the Geese Liquor?
yes,
Okay, what did you think?
I liked it, but it caught me by surprise because it was by far the most sour beer I've had from you guys. Actual bleeding sour, like it's not sour, but like your guys were all wild, but that one was harder than most.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Fair enough.
And I enjoyed it,
Fair
but it
enough.
just caught me off guard. I was like, okay,
That's a wild yeast strain that we actually collected. That's our first wild yeast strain we've ever collected. That's ours. It's called the Wild Angel strain. It's also in the R2 cool shift. It's also in the crew, which I know you've had the crew.
Yeah.
And, that strain is a strain that we found in the wild. You know what I mean? We found, so far, we've categorized now 4 different new strains that we found outside of the ones that we've been steadily
the fact that
working.
you guys go out there and get it, that's the best part. You know what I mean? So many people just sit back and dial up Y Labs or whatever fucking Y Labs or whatever fuck you want and be like, hey, give me this. Like,
There's actually 2 breweries here tonight specifically to come down here and ask me if I can come up and teach them how to collect wild yeast. And I told them, yeah. I told them definitely. And it's through a method I've developed, actually, believe it or not. It's a whole new method. I'll publish a white paper for you if you want. No, but I'll tell you exactly how it is. It's all topography. Agricultural precursors, topography, and
so is it level, distance, and temperature?
No, not necessarily temperature. It's honestly, I'd have to draw it on a piece of paper to show you.
But that's what I mean. I thought my guess was it's what is it? Elevation
Yeah.
versus distance versus temperature. That's what I thought it
Okay,
was.
that's fair enough. Fair enough. Now, add in there natural fragmentation, trees, bushes, things like that.
Yeah.
They steadily filter out pollen. They steadily filter out
So
pathogens.
winds.
That's exactly right. And as the wind pattern makes its way through, it's carrying certain things.
So you're looking for trees before fields, then
field
fruits, and then
ideal.
levels.
That would be beautiful.
Yeah.
To funnel it all in,
Yeah.
just like a good old ambush. And
Yeah,
then
no.
you're
You look for a choke point to blow out whatever you
Exactly right.
need.
Now, the
and
best part about that is that if you can find some other natural filtration areas where that blow point is, that creates a natural wind backwater eddy. That is the best place to pick up a critter. It'll be the
that
purest.
makes sense. I never thought about that. When you're talking to me about it, I'm like, my brain's turned. I'm like, that makes sense.
Yep.
It's just like looking, as long as you have. I always thought temperature was a big deal, and it's not that big of a deal.
Well, when it gets real cold, yeah. And there's times of the year that
We
you
have
do
a
this.
big like leeway.
Well, here's the funny thing about it. Tony told me I was full of shit when this all happened. And the funny thing about it is I said, here's the deal. We'll use my method, this method I've basically created, okay? And if we can get a precipitate in every one of our samples, you'll agree with me. He's like, all right, fine. We went out, we took 20 samples that day. 20 samples, 4th of July. In fact, we posted on, I don't know, I don't do any technology, social media crap. So, yeah, so I think somebody else put it on Twitter, whatever it was. Long story short, we got 20 out of 20 precipitates. And we started pulling from those precipitates. And we're going to be working with them steadily. But it takes a lot to know that strain intimately. There's a lot of work you got to do with it. You got to know it. Because if you don't
So you're
know it,
harvesting based on like weather patterns.
it's not just weather. There's a lot of factors. There's agricultural precursors and livestock precursors that you're looking for. Then you're looking at topography. I mean, it takes a while to survey an area to say, I bet you there's some good wild critters there. And then you go and you find them. Now, like, let's take Belgium, okay?
Yeah.
They've been doing this for, close to 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Guess what? Those critters don't come from the air. Those critters live up in the rafters and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like Cantillon or whatever.
Yeah.
They're inhabiting their beers naturally. At this point, they don't even have to go out and get them.
Nope.
Yeah.
They open up the louvers.
It's like if you were to go to like my brother-in-law Scott's in there. Like if you go to like and again just say Cantillon for the sake of saying, you go in there, you'd be like, this is disgusting. Why would I ever drink fucking beer here?
Yep,
but you're like, that's where the deliciousness of the beer comes from, because everything in the beer, yeast and everything is living in the rafters in the barn, and it just infects the beer.
And if you want to know where Draai Lagg's going,
that way.
that way. That's what I want.
That's motherfucker.
That's what I want. I'm trying to find a farm somewhere where I can do all that and I can understand
just like
it.
grow and evolve into its own organism. Because that's what it is. Its own living organism.
That's right, man.
Yeah.
And just every year you figure you can find, depending upon the way the wind patterns blow, you might find new critters every year. And everybody, it's nuts. Everybody has the ability to do this. Everybody has the ability to do this. And see, and that's the thing. At the end of the day, if somebody can drink it and I can put a smile on someone's face, I've done my fucking job. I'll walk away happy. Hey, man, like Richard Pryor said, you're making people smile, making people laugh, making money, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. So yeah, what we're gonna do right now, I think what we should do is wrap this up, and then you give us a little tour real quick.
Sure, man.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
If you say that to me one more time.
So that's it, man.
That's it.
Unfortunately, due to our space, everybody's got to we got to take all this gear out of here every single time and move it out, and then take it all back in every week, right when we're brewing, and that's pretty much it.
And that's all it takes. See, and that's the thing. People sit here and think it takes immense amounts of huge kettles. I need 19 bright tanks. I need this and that and the other thing. In order to do good beer, well.
Yeah. And, somebody told me one time when a guy came in here and told me, he goes, in fact, this was Tony Morgan from Black Griffin out in Elizabethtown. He came down here and he walked back here and he starts taking pictures of the system, and he looks at me and he flat out said, he goes, "You make beer like this on that?" And I said, "Yeah, man." He goes, that's pretty impressive. I was like, thanks, I appreciate that.
Where'd you get those, man?
I got them at an auction in West Virginia.
That's some dated stuff there, son.
Yeah, man.
That's how.
Put it all together myself, engineered it myself, and make some pretty good beer. Make some pretty killer beer. So that's that's the basis of the system for right now. I mean, our new facility is much nicer. It's much bigger. It's got a lot more, I guess, whatever you want to call it, newer equipment.
Newer doesn't mean better.
No, it doesn't. But you know what? It means a lot less back work. You know?
True.
So, yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Thanks, bro. Now, everybody's ever told you in any book that's ever been written that ice cream cannot be fermented. Bullshit. Ice cream can be fermented. So this stout, right, is a stout fermented with coconut, chocolate, ice cream. Let's see what else. It's aged on bourbon barrels.
Oh my god.
And then on top of that, we put in coffee, and then I think that just about vanilla bean, right? So it's all done in a successional way in which it's all integrated. That this stout is huge. I mean, it is huge. And when you drink it, it's like a mouthful of just what the fuck happened. Like Yodeler times 2, if you can imagine that, right? And the way that we did it, this beer is going to be undoubtedly probably one of the best things ever created. And we actually successfully fermented ice cream. It's the first time ever that we fermented ice cream, and we actually had to go and find an ice cream that would be actually fermentable. So you had to find it without all its preservatives and all the other bullshit that's intertwined in it. this beer, I was so excited because it got done, and Tony's like, we did it. I was like, what do you mean we did it? He goes, dude, the science worked out. We fermented ice cream. I'm like, that's impossible. That's every book out there tells you can't do it. He goes, we did it. I was like, fucking A, dude. So
That's
this beer,
fucking awesome.
when we find, now, we had a little bit of problems because of head retention. We had too much coconut, so obviously the oil started cutting back the head. So we're going to go back and kind of introduce the science to actually maybe roasting the coconut and try to figure out ways to cut the head retention, or increase the head retention. But when this thing comes out, dude, it's going to be a bomb from fucking hell, dude. Yeah. I'm excited about it.